Hey guys, it's me, Katie. Today's video is going to be a chit chat, get ready with me slash kind of tutorial slash using all of my current favorite products right now. I did this look one day at work and people literally would not stop asking me what I did for my eyes, and they were like, you should make a video. So that is what I'm doing. I'm also using my current favorite products right now, and then I'm also just kind of updating people because I've been kind of MIA. If I can talk, completely forgetting how to do videos now because it's been so long. But I've been kind of MIA, so I'm just going to kind of chill and get ready and chat about what I've just been doing and the things that I have planned. So if you want to see how I got this look, just continue to watch. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to go ahead and prime my face. Again, I'm using the Maybelline Master Prime, the pore-filling one. Ever since I reviewed it in that video, I've fallen in love with it, especially with my E.L.F. Poreless Putty Primer and my T-zone. I think it looks so good. Now I'm just going to go in with the E.L.F. Poreless Putty Primer. So yeah, sorry I've been kind of MIA, and I think it's kind of funny that I'm apologizing because I thought that nobody would care, but the amount of people that harassed me about like, where are your videos? Why aren't you doing 2 a week? Blah, blah, blah. I was just like, oh, okay. Like I didn't know that people cared that much. So that's really nice. But yeah, sorry I've been MIA, not doing videos. It's just been kind of crazy. I had a different work schedule than I've had for a little bit, and then Seth and I went out of town for the weekend. So usually like when I would have a day off, I would film, but since we were out of town, I didn't do that. I also didn't want to film because I had this huge breakout on my face. Like it was huge and scabbed over. It's flat and all that's left is the pigmentation, but it was big and it was ugly and I didn't like looking at it, so I didn't think anybody else would like looking at it. But it's kind of okay now because I'm going to show you how I cover up really intense red spots on my face. It's nothing too strenuous, but I just use the LA Girl Pro Conceal. It's the green one, and I'm just going to put it directly on this red spot right here. I'm using green because green cancels out red. I'm trying to find any other red spots. There's one. And a lot of the times I'll put it on my nose too, on the side, just because there's some natural redness there. And then I'm just going to take a beauty sponge and pat that out. I don't break out a lot, but the problem with my skin is that when I do break out, it leaves behind awful red marks forever. And so this is how I like to cover them up. And there's still a little green on it, but that's why I'm doing it under my foundation, so that I can cover it up with my foundation and then go over top of that with concealer. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Foundation in this shade Porcelain L1. This is the lightest shade and it is still too dark for me, but y'all, I love this foundation so much. I completely missed it. Like I am so late on this. I ordered it when I ordered the Shape Tape, or not the Shape Tape, the Face Tape foundation that I reviewed in my last video or the video before that. And y'all, this is so good. Like I am so upset that I missed it for so long because this has been out for a while and I just didn't pick it up. Like it's not even expensive. Like it's not even expensive. And I just kind of went by it because the Light Illusion, like luminous type foundations kind of scared me because I do have oily skin. But y'all, this is the only like luminous foundation that looks good on my skin and doesn't make me super oily. Like I have been reaching for this daily. Like this is like my daily foundation now. Like, and it is too dark, but I try and make it work. But like so good. Like go pick it up. Gosh, be better than me. And I just like taking it on the flat side of this beauty blender. Most of the time I like putting foundations on with a brush, but for some reason I just love this with a sponge. Okay, now that I am done ranting about not picking up this foundation sooner and making my life better sooner, I want to update y'all on some plans that I have. Seth and I decided that we're going to Boston this summer, and I'm so stoked. And so originally it was just supposed to be me and him, but he and my sister, we're going on his birthday week, and he and my sister have the same birthday. And so I mentioned it to her, and I was like, oh yeah, we're going to Boston for Seth's birthday, you know, kind of poking at her, joking because it's also her birthday. And not like trying to make her jealous, but just kind of playing with her. And she was like, oh man, I had that entire week off. And I was like, oh, well, you know, I can talk to Seth and, you know, see if he, you know, would like for you to come. I think that'd be fun. And she was like, no, no, no. She was like, it's y'all's trip. I don't want to intrude. And also I don't want a third wheel. And so I just kind of like left it. And I didn't think about it much more because she said she didn't want a third wheel. Even though I thought that was kind of ridiculous because Kelly and Seth get along so freaking well. Like, it's because they're the same person. They're the exact same person. I married my sister. But yeah, they're the same person, so they get along super well. Pause that conversation for a second. This foundation is medium coverage. It's not super full coverage, but I still really love it because I'm going to go in and cover the things that I need to with concealer. But anyway, back to the Boston trip. So I kind of left it because she said that she didn't want to go and third wheel and, you know, ruin our trip, which she wouldn't have been doing any of that, but I just kind of left it because that's what she said. When Seth and I were on the way to the soccer tournament that we were at this past weekend, I just kind of mentioned it like, oh, you know, Kelly said this and she decided that she didn't want to. And then he was like, I'd be so down with her coming. And so I was like, really? But he said, since when has Kelly ever third wheel with us? And I was like, I mean, you're not wrong. And he said, I'd be so down to have her because it is her birthday week too. And so right then and there, like, we both got like really giddy about the trip, and we were like, okay, you know, the fact that we knew that we were going to have fun with just the two of us, but with the three of us, it'd be amazing. So we got really, really giddy, and we were like, this is what we need to do. And so after we got home that night, we like bought the tickets, the plane tickets at like 1 a.m. and like booked the hotel or the Airbnb at like 1 a.m. And I literally texted her at like 1:30. I was like, are you awake? Because we were going to FaceTime her if she was awake. But she wasn't, so we had to wait until she was awake the next day, and we FaceTimed her. We woke her up and FaceTimed her. She cried her eyes out. I think it was very shocking, very surprising for her. And when she cried, I cried. So I'm really, really excited, and she's stoked. So next I'm going to go in with the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Full Coverage Concealer. I, again, am so mad that I was so late on this. This foundation and concealer go so well together. I mean, they're made for each other, but they go so well together. I will say that this shade is pretty dark. It matches. It's almost a little bit darker than the foundation. Like, maybe, not really, but kind of. But this doesn't highlight my face, which actually I've kind of been into that because it makes me look a little bit tanner. And so what I'll do to create this highlighted effect under my eyes, even when I use a dark-ish concealer, is I'll just go in with a little bit more bronzer, and that helps. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this all over my face, basically. But yeah, when we're in Boston, we're going to do like all the historical stuff, like the Boston Freedom Trail. Our Airbnb is actually like right outside one of the monuments, so that's pretty cool. We're gonna do so much over there. We're also gonna spend a day in New York, which I'm so stoked about. I've always wanted to go to Boston, and I've always wanted to go to New York, and I get to cross that off my list in one trip. That sounds pretty great to me. So if any of y'all have ever been to Boston or New York, tell us what we need to do, because as much as I'm researching and stuff like that, I like to know what other people have done. Okay, and I'm also going over the same exact spots with this concealer that I went in with the green concealer, just to cover up the green for good. And I'm just gonna go in with my Morphe sponge. This eye look that I'm gonna do, I got so many compliments on. Like, I was talking to somebody at work, and they straight up said, I'm sorry, I was trying to listen, but I was so distracted by your eyes that I could not understand a word that you were saying. I did not comprehend a word that you were saying. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And I'm going to bake with the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder. I'm almost out, and it's kind of perfect timing because Ulta is doing a sale. It's like the 21-day sale or the something sale. and this will be on sale, and I need to pick more up on that specific day. I'll put that day in the description box that it's going on sale, because I think it's going on sale only one day, so that y'all can pick it up because it's a really good setting powder. I'm going to use whatever is left in the cap of that setting powder with the BH Cosmetics number 4 brush, and I'm just going to set my eyelid with it. Alright, I'm going to do my eyebrows off camera really quick while my face is baking. I'm using the Makeup Revolution Brow Pomade. I'm going to do them off camera because I can't talk while I do my brows, so yeah. Alright, so now for the star of the show. This is what everybody was so obsessed with. It is the Marc Jacobs See-Quins Glam Glitter Eyeshadow in the shade Topaz Flash. It's so pretty. It's this brownish bronzy shade, and the camera doesn't pick up the sparkles, the different color sparkles that it has in it. So gorgeous. I'm just going to pick that up on my ring finger. Ooh. And pat it onto my eyelid. You don't need a lot of it. I actually just picked up way too much. And it does have a little bit of fallout. Just don't swipe under your eyes with your finger. Get a fan brush. Let me find mine. Yeah, get like a fan brush like this. This is the Real Techniques one, and just swipe that away. That way it won't ruin your makeup under your eyes. I'm going to take that same Morphe E27 brush to blend the edges of that out. Literally, I used 3 eyeshadows and 1 brush for this eye look. It's so pretty, but it is so easy. And this is kind of a little bit more of a smoky, romantic look. So kind of like for a date night, but what I've been doing is I've been using the same 2 liquid eyeshadows, and then I pop a ColourPop shade on there. It's like a pinkish beigey color. It's a shimmer shade, and it's so good for just every day. I don't remember the shade off the top of my head, but I'll try and link it, because literally that's what I've been doing every single day. And it's so quick. It's the same exact steps, just a different lid shade. Not as dramatic, but still very pretty. And I think it's so pretty, like with summer coming up. Moving back onto the face, I'm taking 2 bronzers. These are like my 2 favorite bronzers. This is the L'Oreal Lumi Bronze It, and then this is the Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzer. This is in Sunset Striptease, and then this is in the shade Light. The first one I go in with is the L'Oreal one on, of course, my BH Cosmetics number 1 brush. I'm gonna bring this bronzer down my neck to help match the shade. The lights and the camera wash me out, so a lot of the times when I say a shade is too dark for me, like you can't see it on camera when it's like super dark for me, which I guess can be a benefit, but I want everything to be true to color. I'm going in with the Sunset Striptease. Just same thing. I just feel like these bronzers together, I don't know what it is about them, but they look so good. One day I asked Seth if he liked my makeup, and he said, yeah, your bronzer looks a little bit more bold. So I've just been kind of going for that recently. I guess he's trying to say that I need to go tanning at some point. Now I'm going to take my trusty NYX 3 Steps to Sculpt to contour on my BH Cosmetics number 4 brush. You know, as much as I tried to cover up that mark, like it is so bad, there is almost no covering it up. And I hate it when you get pimples, like, or a zit or whatever in your contour or where you put your bronzer, because when you put that dark shade on it, it's always going to grab on there and make it a lot more noticeable, and it's a pain in the butt. It's like, do I want to look like I have a fat face, or do I want to hide my acne? There is just, you can't have both. Now I'm taking one of the flat sides of my sponge and I'm dipping it into the same Color FX loose setting powder. I'm just going to clean this up. And I don't let that sit too long. I literally just kind of apply it and then, you know, put the lid back on my powder, and then I'll just take my powder brush and wipe it away. And it just makes everything look a little bit cleaner. Now for blush, I'm taking the Milani Baked Blush in the shade Luminoso. I know I use the same things every time, but there's a reason. There is a reason. Because these products I'm using are perfection. Okay, I'm going to spray my face really quick with the Ofra Makeup Fixing Spray. Then I'll go in with highlighter, and then I will spray it one more time, and then I'm going to go in with some mascara. This does not have the best mister. It's like very direct and it'll like assault you, but it's a good fixing spray. You just have to like spray it up and then let it fall on your face. Also, when I set my face with the setting spray, I like to go back in with my beauty blender and dab the places that can crease, because sometimes setting spray will settle into your creases, so just dab that out. And I'm gonna let that dry like 90% of the way, and then I'm gonna put on my highlighter. And I'm gonna be taking my new favorite highlighter, so wonderful, the Wet n Wild Loose Highlighting Powder in the shade I'm So Lit. If you buy this highlighter, you would literally never have to buy another highlighter again in your life. You get so much product in that tub right there, and then you only need the smallest bit for your face. Like even if you use it every day, you would never have to buy another highlighter in your life. Bam. Again with the setting spray. Speaking of being assaulted by things, who else was assaulted by the time change? Like, I didn't get enough sleep anyway, and then that time change just hit me and just screwed up my entire life. Mean girls, who here has been personally victimized by the time change? Raise your hand. That setting spray does not taste good. I would not recommend ingesting it on any level. So now I'm going to go in with the Thrive Causemetics Liquid Extensions Mascara. This is so good. It does not transfer at all, ever. And when you first get it and it has like a ton of product in it, it can be a little clumpy when you apply it, but when you start to work through some of the product, not as much comes off on the brush, and it actually looks really good. And so this is a tubing mascara, and so what I like about it is that you have to like rinse it with warm water and then kind of rub a little bit and then pull just ever so slightly. It doesn't ever take eyelashes out with it, and they just come off in little tubes. And so since I have oily eyelids, a big problem of mine is that I will look up, like my eyelashes do touch my eyelid, and with normal mascaras, it'll touch the oil on my eyelid and just transfer and look like a hot mess. But this one doesn't do that because I'm not rinsing it with warm water and then pulling it off. So it just looks so good. And my mom, who has the same problem, she has even more hooded eyelids than I do. Like they like droop down onto her lashes. She hasn't been able to wear mascara in years because of that problem. And she got this, and now I got this for her, and now she wears mascara again. It's not cheap, but it's worth it. And I just realized that I forgot to highlight my brow bone in my inner corner. So I'm going to take the same highlighter that I used on my face on this little flat no-name brush, and I'm just going to highlight my inner corner. Okay, that is all I'm going to do. I'm not going to put a lip on. I never do, because my lips, just for some reason, do not like lipstick whatsoever. It just looks awful and nasty, so I'm not going to do that. And then I'm also not going to put on false lashes. I think I'm just going to the grocery store, so I'm not going to be a try-hard in the grocery store. But anyway, yeah, that's the finished look. Alright guys, so this is the finished look. If you wanted to make this a little bit more dramatic, you could add eyeliner or even smudge a black eyeshadow along your lash line and then put on some false lashes and then a lip, and you're good to go on date night. But I'm just chilling today, so I didn't do that. But if you wanted to, it's definitely an option. I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope that you all have a great day. We're not doing this. We're not taking forever to film because I can't figure out words. Abby, hey, quit itching. Quit. I don't understand the reason for geese. This is my better side, but this is also the one that has the pimple. Can't win. Cannot win.